Once upon a time, you had shows like The Sopranos and early Game of Thrones dominating TV culture. Everyone you knew would be watching that night, oftentimes in viewing parties. Everyone would gather around the water cooler the next morning at the office to hash it all out, arguing over subtleties of the plot. Well, either that or who was hooking up with who. Prestige TV has changed a lot over the last 2 decades, and unfortunately for us consumers, not for the better. Now don't get me wrong, there are still genuinely wonderful shows being made out there, but none that command our collective attention like they used to. Some say that is no longer possible, that our interests are too fractured. Maybe that's true, but peak Game of Thrones was not so long ago. So what's changed since then? Today, you have many well-known franchises headlining at the top. They have the name recognition and, well, prestige. They are billion-dollar investments made by some of the largest companies in the world. They star well-known names with proven acting chops. It's impossible they could fail, right? Well, let's break it down. Here's the fundamental problem. They all fail in a formulaic way. The basic philosophy these shows follow are simple. 1. They know they are luring you in because of the franchise name. 2. They want to amaze you with eye-popping production values, so that's what they pour their money into. 3. Because the money is all being spent on sets and special effects, they skimp on the most important part of all, the writing. 4. They intentionally limit the supply in order to create scarcity, leading to them seeming more prestigious. 5. They assume that no matter how bad the writing and story are, you will watch anyway. Let's start with the first point. I'm as guilty as anyone of being suckered in by the names of my favorite franchises. Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, I can't get enough of them. It's what we grew up on. I might ignore a new show coming out that's called Battle of the Stars. But if it's called Star Wars, at the very least, I'm finding out more about it. It's brand loyalty, and the companies that make these shows know it and they take advantage of it. It's why we reach for a certain brand of soft drink over another, or a certain fashion label over another. We love what we love. 2. Since the production companies know a certain amount of people will watch no matter what, they will try to lure new fans in by making the shiniest, grandiose thing possible. You will be dazzled by elaborate sets and chip-busting CGI that transports you into that world. It's cool, right? That's why we watch. We want to live in the world this show is trying to take us into. We want to live vicariously through these characters, getting to be them without any of the risk or punishment. The production companies know how we think. They have it all down to a science. So they throw all the money to make sure we want to be absorbed into this world. In a vacuum, that's not a bad thing, but focusing on eye candy leads to the biggest problem of all. 3. The writing and storytelling are completely de-emphasized and given inconsequential status in all of the big-ticket modern TV shows. Because they know they have a built-in audience from the points we made earlier, these shows aren't worried about anything actually making sense. Just put on a spectacle, and everyone goes home happy, right? Well, yes and no. People are obviously watching, judging by the success of streaming subscriptions. But the actual content is an amorphous blob of characters without any real purpose or motivations, transported between lands and sets without any constraints of time and space in order to interact with other amorphous blobs at the director's convenience. There is no emphasis on creating characters that have real motivations or growth arcs. The only motivation is to get to the next scene, to move along the viewer's attention to the next thing, and to avoid any contemplation of what was just observed. The most disappointing offender at the moment is House of the Dragon. I've enjoyed the first 2 seasons as a whole, and there have been some terrific moments. However, the storytelling is completely random, and a given scene can both be amazing and terrible at the same time. Take a look at the scenes between Alicent and Rhaenyra in Season 2. The acting between the two has been amazing, and the dialogue electric. We want to see these two interact. The problem is what is done to set up these scenes. In the first one, Rhaenyra magically smuggles herself into King's Landing and gets by all the Kingsguard to cozy up next to the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms for a little chat. That seems unlikely. At the end of the season, the roles are reversed and Alicent gets into Dragonstone seemingly unnoticed to see Rhaenyra. Both scenes are well acted and highly watchable, but everything around them is shoddily built and belies any sense of realism. The enemy queens can just slip into each other's strongholds as easily as if they are going down to the local tavern for a pint. Really? We're doing this Season 8 Game of Thrones nonsense again? The Rings of Power had the same problem, but 10 times worse in every way. Characters going across Middle-earth and Arda as a whole without any sense of time or place. Apparently, Eru Ilúvatar fashioned Arda after Sesame Street, with people just jumping across the road to see their friends in the next neighborhood. Star Wars under Disney has also destroyed any concept of interplanetary travel. Remember how it took time for Obi-Wan, Luke, and Han to get on from Tatooine to Alderaan in the original movie? There was enough time in that journey to fill in the backstories and learn about the new and interesting characters we were meeting. Now, you are a gin and tonic away from your destination, the journey not mattering at all. You can get to any planet in the Star Wars galaxy seemingly instantaneously now. And Star Trek? Well, I just hate new Trek in every conceivable way possible. You're better off putting on reruns of TNG and DS9 and pretending you're back in the 90s. Enough said. The overall point is that you can't hide bad writing and storytelling. No matter how beautiful of a cover they put over it, the thinness of the pages always shows. Point number 4. Studios artificially create scarcity to make the product seem more valuable. Remember when we used to get 25 episodes in a season of TV shows back in the day? If you think about it, it's crazy that Star Trek was pumping out that much material every year. I mean, sure, there were some duds, but they produced some consistently good stuff through that many episodes. Then The Sopranos came along and did hour-long 10-episode seasons. Fair enough, the writing was so tear-inducingly beautiful and intelligent that every episode was like a film classic unto itself. Every episode was a prestigious event, and 10 episodes of it were enough. Unfortunately, over the next couple of decades, everyone thought they were good enough to pull this off. After a while, the 10-episode season became a mark of prestige by itself. That if we are only giving you 10 one-hour-long episodes, it must be a great TV show. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy in their eyes. More accurately, it was a Ouroboros, a snake eating its own tail. Have you noticed that the seasons and episode runtimes keep getting shorter with every passing year? 10-episode seasons have now become 6, 7, or 8-episode seasons. 1 hour-long runtimes have become as short as 30 minutes. They keep trying to create artificial scarcity, trying to keep you believing that if they give us less, we'll want more. That makes the show more prestigious in the studio's eyes, and therefore, it must be great. In reality, maybe they are doing us a giant favor by giving us less, because we end up needing not to sit around and enjoy the slop they are shoveling onto us. I wish Disney had done us all a favor and given The Acolyte 1-minute episodes. Maybe they'll all make these shows so scarce that they all disappear even without needing to do it for a tax write-off. And coming to the final point, the studios think you, the viewer, are a sucker. No matter how bad the writing or anything else on these shows is, you will show up and give them the eyeballs they want. You'll take anything they give you, no matter how enshittified they make it. And you will say, yes, feed me more, please. All I can do is say that this is in your hands, and you, the consumer, actually hold all the power here. If they are making a bad product, don't buy it. Put your money on better art, or failing that, just stare at the wall in a detached stupor. Seriously, vote with your wallet here. It's your hard-earned money. Don't blindly give it up to the TV execs who don't care about what you had to do to earn it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this little verbal essay, and we'll be looking to do TV show and film reviews from time to time going forward on this channel. So if you were mildly entertained, or even simply didn't hate this, give us a subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.